Sometimes they can be judgmental as a result of that. Okay? So the C style, again, one of the things that they fear is being judged and criticized. And that's why they take so much time to make sure that it's right. Okay? So if you're working with someone who is a C style, or you're trying to sell to someone, like say you're trying to sell a vacuum cleaner. Remember how they used to have those Kirby vacuum cleaners? I think they still do. Mm-hmm. And they go door to door, at least they used to. If I were trying to sell a Kirby vacuum cleaner to a C style, what do you think I should do if I know that they're a C style? Give them the facts. Open up the manual. Show them the diagrams, because that's what they like. That's what appeals to them. That's what will allow me to establish a good relationship with them, because they say, oh, she thinks like me. She's very much into the details like I am, and you make connections that way. If I'm trying to sell to an I style, I might tell them, this is the newest, the best vacuum cleaner. Let me tell you, everybody's got one. Okay? Everybody's got a Kirby vacuum cleaner, and that's why you need to have one. You'll be able to talk about this Kirby vacuum cleaner to other people, and they'll respect you because you have a Kirby vacuum cleaner. That is the approach that you might try with an I style. Now, with an S style, they already have a vacuum cleaner. They know how to work that vacuum cleaner. They like that vacuum cleaner because it's very predictable. They know how it works. They know how to turn it on. The Kirby vacuum cleaner's got too many features. I don't know how to work it. You got to sit down and say, I know you like your Hoover, but let me tell you, I'm going to show you. I'm going to work with you. We're going to do this together. I'm going to help you to understand this. I'm going to be available to you. Here's my number, the 800 number. Support the S through change, because they don't like change, right? And D, trying to sell that Kirby to a D, what are you going to do?
Throw dirt on the floor and vacuum it up.
Right, here it is. Look how fast. Was that results oriented? And it's only $500. You can get one today. Right now, I have one in the car. Results orientation, they go for it. Okay? So you're seeing a little bit about the 4 behavioral styles. What I want us to do real quick is I have a video clip. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice the people reading. So what I'm going to do is, and this is my intern, Ariel, she's going to come around and she's going to give each pair of you a people reading wheel, okay, to share. And I'm going to collect these back. If you're interested in it, we'll have some available. You're going to work with your partner in this video clip to actually try to predict the style of the person's 2 guys, Jesse and Palani. You're going to try to guess their style based on what you're seeing in their behavior, because behavior is predictable. What style do you think Donald Trump is? D. He's an absolute D. And that tells us we can read styles. You're fired. That's a D, right? How about those of you probably, hopefully remember, who remembers Mr. Rogers? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. He's an S style, right? How about President Clinton?
There's not one I. He was an I.
He's an I. He's a schmoozer. He likes his saxophone. He likes to play. He likes to be in the limelight.
Obama's a D.
Okay? And who would be a C style? What about Dr. Spock on Star Trek? Definitely C style. Very much logical, critical thinking. Okay? So, I'm going to show you this video clip. Does everybody have a wheel to share? Let's look at the wheel together real quick. We need more. Who doesn't have a wheel? Okay. So you're looking at the arrow at dead center, right? And it's asking you a couple of questions. It says, is this person more? And the arrow goes to D and I if they are active and fast-paced, assertive and a louder speech. And then the C and the S style if the person is more calm, softer speech, moderate-paced and thoughtful. Then you have to decide, is it a C or an S? Or is it a D or an I? And that's a more difficult questioning process because sometimes those two are very similar. But you can see that the C style is more questioning, more logical, more analytical, more into accuracy. The S style is more accepting, more patient, more empathetic. Okay? If you see that the person is more active and fast-paced, then you're probably dealing with the D or the I style. Those questions are, is this person more results-oriented, direct, goals, focused on task? Or are they more accepting, not accepting, I'm sorry, yes, accepting, enthusiastic, sociable, outgoing? So those are the ways that we're going to differentiate. So I'm going to show you this video clip between Palani and Jesse. And I want you to try to predict or guess the styles of these two people, okay? Okay, now I'm going to just give you Palani's intro. You're not going to be able to guess from this, but I want you to understand what he's doing.
Hello, I'm Palani Griggs. I work with the Human Resources Department of our company. Our head office has given me an interesting assignment to recruit sales representatives for our new biotech division. I'm visiting some of our most successful territory sales offices today to interview potential candidates. So if you'll excuse me, I'd like to be on time for my first call.
Okay, so his first call is with Jesse.
Jesse, great to see you again. Hey, remember that summer meeting 2 years ago?
2.5 years, to be exact.
What a blast, eh? Well, I guess you know we're recruiting salespeople for our new biotech division.
Yes, very interesting development.
You betcha. We want the most exciting people we can find on the sales team.
Please get this person out of here.
They're fun, right? While they're working. So since you're the boss, I want to talk to Larry Overholt and Barbara Pittman from your territory.
Well, that's interesting you should bring up Larry's name. He is one of our top producers, and I know he wants a change.
Now, Barb, what's her story? I mean, she's posted some dynamite numbers.
Barbara, and she's only been with us a few months. In my opinion, she's not ready.
What? Come on, this young woman has potential.
Well, Palani, she does have potential, but she has a lot to learn about the business.
This move will keep her juices flowing. With her kind of energy, she'll thrive.
Thrive? I'm not sure about that. I believe a move to corporate at this time will result in too much pressure.
She'll do fine. Trust me.
Well, can you tell me what kind of system you have in place to analyze and assess her progress?
Huh? Oh, that. We'll work on it as we go. Don't sweat it. Let's just get her into the group where she can unleash all that energy, okay? Do the company a world of good.
This guy is offensive. Talk. And doesn't listen to a thing I say. What kind of show is corporate running anyhow?
Okay, so talk with your partner what style, but what are the indicators that you saw that tell you that that is the style of that person? Go ahead. So what were some of your thoughts? Let's start with Palani. What style did you think was Palani? An I. How many of you thought he was an I? Did anybody think something different? You thought possibly a D. Well, let's look at the distinguishing factors. The I, what made you see, those of you who picked him to be an I, what made you think I?
Talkative.
Very talkative. Animated, enthusiastic. Loud speech, fast speech, right? Right, not detail-oriented, not fact-oriented. The D style is a little bit more direct. he was trying to schmooze with this guy. Remember last year, the thing, yeah, he's trying to build relationship based on his style, which is at high I, okay? So let's look now at Jesse. What style was Jesse? C. He was a C style. What were some of the indicators for that? Analytical.
Facts.
Slower speech, very fact-oriented, much more serious, much more business-like. No emotions, limited there, or less than. Okay, so do you think that Polanyi was being persuasive or effective at convincing Jesse? No. Not at all. What do you think he needed to do differently? Tone it down, right? Listen more. Okay, so I'm going to show you the second clip now, and I want you to see if there's anything different this time, okay, in terms of Polanyi's approach. And this is what we call adaptability. What you're going to see now is Polanyi adapting his behavior in order to influence and persuade Jesse.
Jesse, good to see you again. I think the last time we talked was at summer meeting 2 years ago.
2.5 years, to be exact.
You're right. Hard to believe, isn't it? I still remember that presentation you made. It was excellent.
Thank you.
You received my memo, so you know that corporate is recruiting salespeople for the new biotech division. We're expecting to have everything in place by December next year.
Yes, a very interesting development. I've been following the progress.
Good. We need a balanced effort, so we're looking for sales reps who are well prepared and value the standards of the organization, like you do. I'd like permission to interview Barbara Pittman and Larry Overholt.
Well, it's interesting that you should bring up Larry's name. He's expressed interest in the biotech division, and he's one of our top producers. Replacing him will be difficult. However, I think you should talk with him. Yes, he'd be interested in what you have to say.
Excellent.
I'm not certain about Barbara, though. She's only been with us a few months, and in my opinion, she's not ready for this kind of a move.
Why?
Well, basically, she needs to know more about our business.
Would you like to hear the rationale and why we think Barbara is a good choice? It might make things clearer.
Yes, I'd like to hear it.
Our recruiting and transition process is very thorough, and our sales force turnover is well below the industry average. Barbara is one of the few candidates with an advanced degree in biotechnology. Once she completes training, she'll analyze the potential of new and emerging markets and contribute to the effectiveness of our sales effort.
Well, that's a strong point. However, I have a concern.
Yes?
I believe a move to corporate right now will result in too much pressure. Barbara's good, but she likes to work at her own pace.
And I think we've anticipated that. We've considered the effect this will have on newer reps like Barbara and have a plan to assess their progress during the transition. Could I show it to you?
Yes, I'd be very interested.
Good. We've divided the transition into 3 phases. First, we start out with these details.
Okay. How did Polanyi adapt his approach that second time around?
Short answers.
Shorter answers? Patient, empathetic, a slower pace, right? What else did you see? He listened and asked questions, yes.
And he seemed to anticipate what Jesse's concern.
He was prepared. And he probably knew, I mean, according to what we're looking at here anyway, the concept of adaptability is knowing the style of the person who you're going to be engaged with and then approaching them in the best manner that will allow you to influence and persuade them. Clearly, Polanyi was normally perhaps very gregarious, very outgoing, but he knew that with Jesse, he needed to tone it down. He needed to have a lot of facts and details. Because with a C style, they're going to ask you a barrage of questions, because one of the great things of the C's is that they push back. Yeah, but. because that's what they do, and they do it very well. They're very analytical. So if you know you're working with someone like that, be prepared to answer those questions. Anticipate that. Will again allow you to build rapport because you will have the answers that they wanted instead of saying, oh, what's the big deal on that, like he did in the first round. Okay? Are we seeing the behavioral styles in some of the different people that we know? I want you to think about a relationship that you would like to either strengthen or perhaps improve. Okay? What do you, yes?
You also assume similar posture and mannerisms.
Yes, in terms of the video, Polanyi, yes. He reflected back to Jesse a much more calmer demeanor, right? Reflecting back what was coming at him, okay? Thank you for that. So in thinking about your relationships, you have to know the person a little bit. You have to know their behavior in order to be able to read the person's style. There actually is a tool, it's just, I think, very incredible. It's called Disc Talk, which allows you to read a person over the phone based on their tone, based on their pace. And again, it's not a perfect, exact science, but even if you could do one thing a little bit differently on the phone with someone that you've never met, would get you a little bit closer to this we relationship, to this engaged relationship that I think all of us are after. Okay? So right now, I want you to reflect on a relationship that you have that, again, you'd like to strengthen or perhaps enhance or improve. What style do you think that person is? Use the people wheel, the reading wheel, and see if you can't guess the style of the person. And now I'm going to talk to you about the things that you want to do, focus on, and the things you want to minimize with the different styles. So first, get that person in your head.